Gentlemen, welcome back. How we doing?
That music is a vibe. Let's go.
Hell yeah, isn't it? I love it. I love it. We get it. We can play around with some of the other features. Yeah. How we doing? Post game week 4. Mack. Repeat of the headwear. The Mack is back. We love it.
Not too bad. Sharpe, how many points did you have? Like 88?
88, yep.
And Luke, you had how many?
79, I think.
I had 69. So considering I didn't free hit, being only 10
Nice.
points back, I said last week I'd be wearing this again, and I am. So
Yeah, that's fair.
profit continues.
Hell yeah. Just keep predicting that. We'll keep going with that every week. We love it. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair on a free hit week for you not free hitting to be that close is pretty solid. Are you feeling, all things considered, pretty up about that?
I was, and I felt like I was set up pretty well for the next couple weeks. And then, I don't know, a couple injuries have kind of marred my way, as we'll get into. So I was feeling high about it. Now I'm like kind of neutral. We'll have to see where we end up. But it just feels like it's going to be not that eventful of a week for me, unfortunately. So
yeah, week 5 seems like a little bit of a shit show. How are we feeling coming out of free hit 4? I mean, you gotta be feeling pretty good. Had a kind of a flying week.
I mean, I only had 2 mids and 2 attacks. 3 of them returned. We're not mad about that. The defense looks solid. And the ironic part is, at first I was beating myself up for bringing Senesi into it. Thought I could have gotten more points elsewhere if I had tripled Palace like I told you to do. But it ended up doing great. So I'm not mad about it.
Dude, you got to put your money where your mouth is next time. Absolutely brutal.
Well, I was kind of hoping it just kind of bent you over and I got out of it. So...
This is the Three Wanks FPL podcast. We are talking all things game week 4, and especially going into game week 5. We're going to talk some of our overall plans. Yeah, I mean, I guess you bet me over, I bet Mack over. We've got a little train running in this mini league that we got going on here of just kind of a wild week. I'm feeling, I didn't quite match what you put together there, Sharpe, but I also, can't be too upset, all things considered, but man, yeah, it feels rough. But who wants to start with going through their team here? Mack, do you want to kick us off?
Worst to first. I like it.
Okay, let's do it. I don't have yours, so we're going to start with Sharpe. No, I do have yours. Here we go.
Cool. All right. So honestly, pretty solid week for me. Like, most people returned is what I would say. We got really bailed out by the last Salah goal last minute, but he's the king. That's what he does. We'll just go from the back. Chelsea, Sanchez, 2 points, whatever. It's a goalie. Who cares about them anyways? Kickers. Pedro Porro got that clean sheet. It's my boy. Tottenham recovered nicely against an abysmal West Ham. Won the derby, if you want to call it that. They call it that. We don't. And nice recovery from Bournemouth, so it's okay. Up the Spurs.
How wild that Pedro Porro, like, all this time has just been a clean sheet monster to start the season. Would you have called that? Like, I'm shocked.
I think I did. I think I said our issue would be scoring, but defensively we'd get better, and that's exactly like what's going on. Fun fact: a couple years ago in the Tottenham fan base, no, we weren't sure if he could defend. Turns out he can definitely defend. So he's grown. Anderson, my MVP of the season. Apparently, he's just been going off. Got a lot of value, so happy with that. Made the transfer for Neco Williams to LaCroix, and that was a good decision. Locked in the clean sheet and just had some Palace cover. So overall, pretty happy with the back line, barring Sanchez, who's a bum on record. We're doing pretty good. Like I already covered, Salah, the king, did Salah things. Semenyo has continued to pop off, and then the bad players are bad. Tielemans, Aston Villa. I mean, I could score a goal. Sometimes people make those claims like, I could score 10 goals in the Prem. But, genuinely, I think I could score. They're that bad. Put me on the team, coach. And then Fernandes, United's bad. But, neither have been worth shifting at this point in time. So, I only had one free transfer last week, and I made that on LaCroix, and that was a good decision. And, you can't have an optimal team every week. Mateta is looking a little bit tired. Watkins, I mean, I don't even want to talk about Watkins. And then João Pedro, my boy. So he's doing good. So 69 points, not a bad week. To be honest, I got bailed out real bad by Salah because I could be way lower.
Yeah. I mean, I think Sharpe and I did as well, but That transfer to Lacroix ended up being just money.
Yeah, I couldn't go up to Murillo, so I just did let's get some Palace cover, and they're fine on defense.
Or
So it's good.
Munoz, you mean?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
looking at Murillo's injured ass on my bench, getting triggered.
I guess we haven't talked since the changes. I do want to ask you about a couple things. First of all, how do we feel about Ange coming into Forest as the Tottenham fan in the chat?
I mean, Relegate Forest is on officially. I love Ange. He's a legend. I got him on a shirt and a coffee cup. But I just think that people know how to play him. Like, as evidenced by the first 2 games, he hasn't really changed too much on Forest. That being said, Forest spends a ton of money, so if they quickly turn over players, he could be fine. I feel like my defensive transfers for the Forest assets were exactly wrong off the back of the news. I got rid of my fullback, and Ange loves playing fullback. When Pedro Porro was an attacking asset was when we had Ange in charge. And I kept Murillo, the center back, who's now no longer going to get clean sheets because Ange is playing. And
is injured.
Yeah, and is injured. So that sucks. I like Ange. The Prem needs him back. I just didn't want him on my team.
Yeah, what's up with the Premier League and bringing in these managers who are just so attached to a system, so stubborn with a system that they're not going to give it up? He came in his first press conference and he was like, "Nope, we're doing the high line. We're going to score a lot of goals. We're going to be very exciting. We're not doing anything that we did." This team was just super successful with their defensive setup. Now, granted, I mean, I'm sure you can make arguments for why that's not sustainable, but I just think it's so funny. These guys coming in and being like, "Nope, we're doing my system." Don't even try to say that maybe they're going to switch something up to keep the opposition guessing. They're like, "Nope, this is a system. If you want to try to stop it, here's the game plan." Him and Amorim are just stuck to it. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's nice when it works. That's what Pep did for a long time. It's just that when it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do with my manager career on FIFA.
Yeah,
It's pretty tough.
Beat your head against the brick wall, see what happens. Yeah.
Hey, it works there.
The other thing I want to ask you about before we move on to Sharpe's team or my team is just Spurs in general. Coming off that Bournemouth game, it looked like they had kind of forced play through the left side of the team and had kind of locked down that right side. Obviously, that didn't end up being an issue in this game. As a Spurs fan, what did you see out of the team? Do you think this is sustainable? Frank is on a hell of a start for this squad in all competitions. How are you feeling? All of the above.
I mean, I'm obviously happy with the start, but I think if you look at the data, we're prioritizing defensive solidity over goal scoring, which I feel like at some point will come back to bite us. And that's kind of what happened, in my opinion, in the Bournemouth game. Bournemouth was just very comfortable sitting off the ball and then pressing really aggressively. And we're just not doing a good job linking up the play between the defense and the offense. But we're keeping a lot of clean sheets, which is great. It's just that we're not scoring a lot of goals right now. So vibes are high. I feel like after last season, when we just didn't defend under Ange, we needed some defensive work. But, Madison's injured, who's our main creative player. Kulusevski's injured, who's our other main creative player. So we got sort of an untested Javi in there. So vibes are fairly high. I just think we're overperforming on a goal perspective a little bit right now.
I think it's both ends of the pitch. I think I could be wrong on this, but I think I saw that you're overperforming the most for goals to XG and for goals conceded to XG conceded. I could be wrong on the second.
No, I think you're right on that. I mean, I think some of it is good defenses will overperform. I also think we were allowing a lot of low quality shots, which add up to a lot of XG, but we're adding a lot of shots outside of the box and stuff like that. We haven't played very good teams either, though, so we're gonna have to see what happens when we start playing the big boys, and if we're kind of cranking on the goal front at that point, right? Our defense is sick, our CDM is sick, so it's just how well is it going to link up on the front end, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Starting to shake in your boots on the double Aston Villa?
Been shaking in my boots. You guys are aware. I sent a text in the group chat should I wildcard? I'm so done with these guys.
We'll use this time to talk you off the ledge then if we can.
I mean, statistically, you'd think that at some point they would remember that they're professional soccer players and
Right.
score, right? But like they have Sunderland next week, and I'm considering taking a hit to get rid of them. Like that's how uneasy I am. And
Nice.
like my golden rule is form in fixtures, and while they have fixtures, they don't have form. So, and now Tielemans is also like red flagged. So it's like, fuck that guy, dude. You've been worthless. I don't know why I picked you.
It's hell. It's hell out there.
And then I got Murillo injured. So I think it's starting to be safe to say the first part of the season hasn't worked out to me. I'm officially like, FPL, let's get interesting. Let's have a win. Because this was supposed to be my shining moment. And then Forrest got rid of Nuno. And these Villa boys aren't playing. And I'm like, gosh dang it. So emergency surgery is needed.
Really glad that I didn't take Rodgers when you guys told me to start the season.
I was really close to it.
Yeah. Thank God.
They've just forgotten how to play. It's crazy. Like they did score, I think, in the Europe game, but it's not
that was. I mean, with their second team, yeah. I to your point, Sharpe. If I was beating myself up for starting the season with Wirtz, but if I hadn't gone Wirtz, I almost certainly would have gone Rodgers. So it is what it is.
Those are two brutal names.
Absolutely brutal. I did message my buddy who's an Aston Villa fan in the UK, and he was like, please tell me you guys across the pond haven't figured this out too. Said I waste all my time and money following them home and away, and this is how I get repaid. Like, yeah, it's just rough times out there.
I mean, welcome to being a fan of any sport.
Yeah, for real. All right, Sharpe, let's jump into your game week 4. Just looking absolutely immaculate. Game week rank of 300K. Talk us through it.
Yeah, felt pretty great. I'm sorry, I just need to bask in this moment because it's rare that I think I am the top. I'm very good at being the middle. So,
no, yeah, you're a top for sure.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Wow. Okay. Yeah. So here we are. I'm pretty happy, obviously, with how this panned out. I was a little the reasons that I were disappointed to start was actually going Rhea because I had Pope in there. Pope had saves, so he got points there. Rhea did not because I think there was maybe one shot that went off of Chris Wood's chest on accident and then off the bar that they counted as a save. But not mad about 6 points. Can't be upset about that. Van Dijk is DEFCON King, so there's that. Like I said, the one area where I was like I could have improved was Senesi, but I'm still happy he's in there. I wish that I had him on my regular team because talk about DEFCON King, put those two next to each other, you're going to get 4 points out of them because they will both have 10 DEFCONs every week. It's amazing. Munoz and Gehi, obviously the Palace guys. Wish Munoz didn't get a yellow card. That would have been nice, but why not take a point off just for the heck of it? Livermento could have gone better with Palace or Newcastle defense, but again, no one's mad about putting that line at the back, and I think it's crazy that it's the year of 5 at the back on a free hit, but
absolutely wild.
Goals have not been flowing this season.
And I was going to say 5 at the back, and I don't regret it at all. And my only regret is I could have done a different 5 at the back. Like,
yeah, that's so wild. What a world we live in.
Insane. Semenyo, I love this dude. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since he scored on Liverpool in game week 1 and just looked like a beast, he's amazing. And he honestly, I think I texted this and Luke got mad at me, but he had more chances. He could have created more if he had better control for the second half period there because he had runs and he had it not wide open, but he had some solid opportunities if he controlled the ball at his feet. So I love where he's at. Another guy I wish I had on my team instead of just for a free hit.
Can we pause on this one? Because this is fucking pissing me off. Since when is Semenyo on penalties? He's literally taken 2 penalties his entire time.
And he just sends them. He just bullets them as hard as he can. But it's gorgeous.
Wild. So I'm like, I don't know. You guys know my takes on the Semenyo stuff. And I'm just like, okay, yeah. So now he's on penalties. I felt like that was a bunch of bullshit. Not to mention Kluivert comes on like 5 minutes later and he is their penalty guy. So who knows? Had that have been 5 minutes later, that could have been Kluivert. Anyway, pissed me off. Continue.
Could have been. Either way, I'm happy about it. We touched on Salah. Do want to point out he scored 6 minutes in today in our Champions League match. So all of a sudden he's back and everyone that was hating on him can bite it. So
we'll touch on that.
We will. Don't you worry. I'm ready for
one. Okay. All right.
Gakpo, disappointed. I mean, the entire Liverpool game was disappointing, let's be honest. But only guy that didn't return to me in my attacking, but not mad about it. I still think in Liverpool, he is the most consistent minutes non-risk at this time. He did get subbed out from McAllister today, but, I'm not too worried about him getting starts over there on the left wing. Haaland, I still say he's not good at soccer, but, man, he can put the ball in the back of the net. And obviously, João Pedro, he's solid. I'm pretty happy with how he's been returning. That's for damn sure.
He just gets up for those headers, man. I never saw that before, and then suddenly he comes to Chelsea in every single game. It's just right there. Not a problem.
Dude, I love it. I mean, I can touch on my future plans, but I'm loving where he's at right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I think he's a pretty much a must-own at this point.
I thought João Pedro was a bit of a bum last season because he was just kind of inconsistent. Like, obviously not a bum, like a young player with potential. And some players go to these big teams and fail miserably, and he has not. And that's good for him. I'm actually quite happy, except it's Chelsea, so don't like that. But yeah, I got to be honest, he's been really impressive this season, just like in the game and in FPL.
Yeah. Again, and I've said this before, it sucks not owning him because I love him. Like, I think he's a really fun player to watch. He's got like great energy. Yeah, so I'm pissed not to have him.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that I was the high scorer. I feel like free hits are all about vibes, so high vibes, high return.
True. And the vibes said 5 at the back.
Vibes said 5 at the back.
Yeah, vibes said 5 at the back. All right, well, we can jump to mine then. The other free hit in the chat. So started the week off feeling just phenomenal because I went triple Palace at the back as well as double Newcastle. Both of them kept cleans. Gabriel keeps a clean and does DEFCON. Harvey Barnes had so many chances to score but didn't. And then Haaland did what Haaland did. But here's where I'm gonna get a little upset. I'm pretty fucking pissed off. The game is fucking gone. The game of soccer is fucking gone, and the Prem is fucking gone. And it actually pissed me off so bad this weekend. I spent the entire weekend sitting there watching some of the shittiest soccer games I've ever seen in my entire goddamn life. And I don't know who to blame for this. I don't know if this is Pep, if this is Arteta, if this is, I have no fucking clue, but I don't know what the fuck is up. Can somebody score a goddamn goal? If we have Liverpool playing Burnley and they essentially get shut out, what the fuck is the point? We're on a free hit and we have 5 at the back. We're counting DEFCONs now. We're counting points for defensive contributions for players because nobody scores a fucking goal anymore. Aston Villa hasn't scored a single goal. I'm absolutely blown away. This free hit should have been absolutely fucking immaculate with triple Liverpool attack. But because every other team in the Prem kept a fucking clean sheet, my clean sheets didn't matter. And then because Liverpool can't score against the worst team in the fucking league, here we are. Bunch of bullshit. Not to mention, obviously we all benefited from it because we all captained Salah. But what a fucking bunch of bullshit. What a bunch of bullshit to get a penalty at the end of the game from a handball. That's another thing. Like, I think new rule in soccer, period. The player who earns the pen has to take it because it's honestly so stupid that every time Salah does fucking nothing for the entire game and then just steps up and takes a pen and gets to, shush the crowd. What a bunch of bullshit. Let me read off all the teams that didn't score and are on my shit list this week. Forest, Palace, Sunderland, Everton, Aston fucking Villa, Leeds, Wolves, West Ham, Burnley, Man U, and I'm going to throw Liverpool in there because fuck them anyway. I just... More than anything, like this free hit went fine. I'm not even really that upset from an FPL perspective, although I should have had an absolutely monster week. I'm more upset that I wasted my weekend watching such shitty games. Like, I don't know what's going on in the Prem, why nobody can score. I saw something that I think XG or like goals scored is down like 0.3 per game, 0.3 goals per game this season. It's fucking ridiculous. Like the cleans are up. All of a sudden, everybody wants 5 at the back. Who cares what attacker you have as long as you have defenders who have DEFCONs and cleans? The fuck are we talking about? What's the point?
This is the most cleans in the opening, however many fixtures, 4 fixtures in Prem history.
Ridiculous.
Nuts season.
And so the worst thing is, I'm gonna switch gears for a second here and just show us Rob T's graphic for Game Week 5. Look at this shit. There's just nobody's going to score this week. It's going to keep going. No one's scoring. Everybody's going to play a game that's going to be either 0-0 or 1-0 or 1-1. It's a bunch of fucking garbage. I just I'm so annoyed. We have no players who can score anymore. They're all either injured or shit. Like, fuck.
Anyway. You know what you need? You needed to grow up watching Iowa football. That's what you needed. And then you would appreciate the fundamentals of the defensive game.
Brother, yeah, I watched CU football all my life. I think I learned my lesson of just watching shit teams. I've been a Broncos fan the past, my 10 years or whatever.
Yeah, we didn't even get to touch on that this weekend. Come on.
Yeah,
how about them Colts, baby?
Yeah, so
bringing it
back. Bringing it back. Anyway, I was pissed. Like I said, I really think gonna suck my own farts for a second, but I really think I should have smashed this free hit with going with the right 5 at the back. They all cleaned. It was all right. Everything was there for me. And then your team, Liverpool, I need you to answer personally for why the fuck they can't score against Burnley of all people.
Whoa, who told you to not go triple attack so many times? I gave you so many options.
I don't think you said don't go triple attack.
I said Van Dijk. I sent you Allison as a goalkeeper instead. If you had the money,
you went double attack.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
And where else were you gonna go? Where else were you gonna go last week? That's the thing. There was forget about Liverpool for a second. That's the problem. No one's fucking scoring, so you can't go anywhere with your money.
I'm not gonna lie to you. This is gonna sound ridiculous. I had Caicedo in some of mine instead of Gakpo.
Yeah,
and it sounds stupid. It sounds ridiculous to say that would have been a viable thought, but it was
because of fucking DEFCONs.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a joke.
Hey,
anyway, but
honestly, though, what a year for FPL to decide to put that in. It's going, I think, well from that perspective of throwing a wrench in the game and exciting it. So
it's a bunch of garbage. I fucking hate it. But no, I'm glad everybody else is having fun. Let's. Yeah,
I'm not having fun either. This season's been so boring.
I need them. I just need somebody. I told Sharpe on our stream last week while you weren't here, Mac. I was like, we just need one big game to just reset everything, right? We just need somebody to whoop the shit out of somebody else and score 6
Aston
goals.
Villa, it's your week.
Dude, that's what I'm saying though. There's just nothing. And looking at this week, I'm like, cool, fucking nothing. Maybe in week 6 we can have City beat up on Burnley and be like, finally. But I need somebody to start scoring. Cole Palmer, if you could get your thumb out of your ass and score a few goals, that'd be sick. Saka, if you could get back on the field, that'd be cool.
He scored in the Champions League today. Cole Palmer.
I did. I saw that. Saw that Salah scored. I guess let's start there.
Let's talk Salah. Scored. Talk
about
my DEFCON king. Yeah. Come on, baby.
Thank God he didn't do that last week. I would have found a tall rooftop. Let's talk a little bit about Mo Salah. Let's talk about the premiums because, like I said, nobody's scoring, but those guys are. So Haaland has been putting up insane numbers from an XG perspective, and he's been returning pretty well. Salah is pretty close to matching that, but his underlying numbers are awful. He's been getting some last second goals as he does, some of which are penalties, some of which aren't. How do you guys see this? Is this a trend? Is this kind of the preseason prediction of the distribution of output growing at Liverpool? Is this just everybody's finding their footing? I also am trying to keep in perspective last year when start of the season, Haaland was popping off. He scored 2 hat tricks in the first 5 weeks or something like that. And then ultimately Salah ended up being the guy for the rest of the year. So I'm trying to keep that in the back of my mind, but it's hard not to sit here and be like, damn, Salah's doing nothing. And granted, Champions League today, that helps seeing him have a goal and an assist there. But yeah, where are you guys at on that as Salah owners?
I mean, I think I just text you what my future plans are. I'm not mad about them. I would love to see braces and earlier goals and more activity coming down his side. But that wasn't going to happen. We brought in too many players and too many other attacking threats to say it was going to be the same as it was, where it was Trent to him and watch him just go do Mo Salah things. I think he still has that capability, and it will occasionally come out specifically towards the end of games because he has the legs for it, where other guys lose their legs and get tired of defending him the entire game. So I'm not mad about how he's performed so far, where he's at. And honestly, I'm not super scared either. I just am seeing what Haaland's doing, and I'm very tempted, not for game week 5, but for game week 6 to essentially flip them and then look at, I think it's game week 12, bringing more of a wild card in and getting them both in if things continue the way they currently are. If not sooner, that's just when the fixtures look the best for Liverpool again after this stretch. So that's where I'm sitting on him. I don't think you need to get rid of him. I don't think it's a problem to have him. I think he's still going to be a consistent return or threat at least. But I don't think we can expect the amount of goals that he had last year either. So,
yeah, I just think it's, I mean, I know he did end up returning, but I just think it's wild. Yeah. Like, if he doesn't return against Burnley, like he can't score an open play against Burnley, then who the fuck can he score? Like, it's crazy to me. But yeah, Mack, how about you? Where are you at on it? You're on mute, buddy.
I switched it. I think everything you said was true. I think that there's a bigger distribution of goals on this team. There's some betting in with a bunch of new players. I mean, he's just not getting as much service. Like you said, he's overperforming, and good players do overperform. But if good players don't get service, they can't perform, right? So I think it's become clear that Haaland has been the play for the at least time being. It's a long season. Haaland, we have 2 data points now that Haaland starts strong. Third data point is this season. 2 seasons ago, Haaland went and set the Prem single season goal record, right? So if this trend continues and he's just back to his form that he's been in for his entire career, to be honest, like last season was one of his few down seasons of his professional career. Like, it just seems that, Haaland's the play. That being said, things can change, right? City get a key injury in the midfield, or like Rodri gets injured again, and that whole City team has to shut down again because they literally can't play without him. And all of a sudden, Salah's back and the Liverpool team gels. So I think I'm in the exact same boat as Sharpe, where I want to get Haaland in sooner rather than later, and then hopefully by that like game week 12 swing, Liverpool's gelled a little bit. I mean, Salah is the player, right? I think Slot is going to, at some point, tell his team, like, we need to give the ball to Mo Salah,
right?
Or at least get him more involved. I don't see Slot leaving him as this underutilized asset in the Liverpool attack, which I think he is right now, right? Yeah. So it's a question of how long it takes to get to that point.
I think, obviously as a Haaland owner, I'm sitting pretty right now, but I think I could easily see this going a different way because, yes, Haaland has looked tremendous, and that may continue regardless of how City look. But City have had this kind of like Jekyll and Hyde thing going. Like, you have the game against Brighton, you have the game against Tottenham, but then you have the game against Wolves, then you have the game last week against United. Like, I can't really figure out how good they're going to be. The only consistent thing is they're clearly trying to get the ball to Haaland, but I don't think that's all that different than how it was last year. It just wasn't working last year. Flip side of it is maybe what we saw today with Liverpool. Like, are they just going to find it, right? Is it going to click? Is Isak coming in going to change things? Is Wirtz going to start drifting right instead of left? Are they going to change the formation slightly and it's going to click all of a sudden? So it's like, yeah, I think it's still, we're so early. It feels like, I said this a couple weeks ago, it's been 4 weeks. It feels like so much longer. I swear this has been 10 weeks of the season already. But yeah, I just still feel like there's not enough information to go off of to figure out who these players really are.
I feel like even if goals are depressed over the course of the season, they have to increase from here, right? Like, Prem teams can't just not score. Surely. We could be looking back at this in the season and say, all right, we need 10 at the back. But, like, I don't see this continuing, and I agree that, like, there's so many teams that just aren't clicking right now that someone's going to have to click at some point.
I hope we come in here next week and you get to call yourself a prophet again because people returns. That'd be fantastic for how I'm sitting for next week.
Ollie Watkins is going to get a hat trick.
There we go. But
and you guys are going to get no points. So. Yeah, I might have broken my profit right there. Profit streak's over.
I think, honestly, as much as we want to talk about Salah versus Haaland, right now, it's because of all the slightly higher priced guys suck. So the ideal situation would be having them both. I think the thing that's going to determine it is going to be if Palmer, if Watkins, if anyone else in that 9 to 10, 8.5 to 10 million range starts to become a must own. Like Cole Palmer all of a sudden becomes competent again. Well, then you can't. Like, you can't have all three of them. So then where do you go, or who supplements it? Because right now you should just have both.
Yeah, I guess. But if you're basing it solely off of the Salah that we've seen in the 4 Prem games that we've seen, I don't want to pay. Like, I will, even with just Haaland and no other premiums, I will redistribute those funds. I'll put it in the back line. I'll put it in the mids or what have you. Like, if he's going to keep playing this way, then I don't care to have them both. I just don't know if he's going to keep playing this way. And like the game today is a reminder that he could still do his shit.
Salah is still Salah.
Right.
I don't think that's changed. So
Right.
That's what prompts me to say that.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at some other teams. So I know we briefly touched on Nottingham Forest. How are you guys planning on handling those guys going forward? Right. Ange in theory should be a more attacking coach. They've been trending downwards in terms of how defensive they actually are. This weekend, Ange showed up and they played Arsenal and he had like a couple days to prepare. I don't really take too much stock in it either way. It's also worth noting they lost this exact game 3-0 last year.
Did they lose to Swansea or something though?
Yeah, but that was with their second team. They didn't play any of their starters. It was just completely their second. I think they threw away that competition. But yes, they did lose to Swansea today. So I don't know. Say what you want to say about that.
I don't know.
But yeah, how are you guys feeling about Forest picks in general?
I mean, I have faith in Wood this weekend. I don't know if I should have faith in Wood this weekend, but I do. So he's still there. I don't think I'm going to get out of them, if not game week 6, game week 7 for sure.
Sure.
But I'm not feeling super confident in them necessarily. I think it's just another factor of they have 2 good fixtures here. So let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, 7 is the jumping off point, probably regardless. If Nuno was still there, you'd still probably be looking at that. But it's
my plan.
Yeah, it's just a tricky spell the next couple.
Yeah, I mean, as someone who's lived the Ange experience, ship their defenders and they're going to score a lot of goals, right? That's right. The Forest that we've known this season is going to flip 180 degrees. You know, in their game today, they conceded a 93rd minute goal. I can just not tell you how many times we did that last season. And I'm like the biggest Ange supporter ever, but it would be so frustrating. Like Tottenham this season has kept in the Prem 3 clean sheets, which means we are halfway to the total amount of clean sheets we kept last season. So
that is wild.
Like I like Ange, but the defender's value has decreased so significantly. The reason we had the Forest assets last year was because they were surprisingly good defense that everyone could buy into, and they scored way more points than they should have.
Right.
But they overperformed last year, and I think they were already regressing. We were seeing that when Nuno was the coach, and now they're going to have Ange in. And it's a little unfair to Ange to like throw him in the middle of a European season, and their games are about to get a lot harder. So I think the stonks are down, and I'm willing to be proven wrong. And Ange is like a great like leader of men, so he could do it, but it's not good, I don't think, for us right now.
I don't think I've heard stonks in a couple of years. That was gorgeous. Good use.
We got a stonks thrown in here. I love it. All right. Is there any teams you guys want to touch on outside of that before we hop into our teams and some transfer plans?
Honestly, no one like super sticks out. I mean,
as you said, no one scored. There's not like anyone to
if
talk
anything,
about.
Palace's defense, I don't know. I'm grasping it. I mean,
yeah. I think the only other thing that I'd actually be interested in talking about is United. Sharpe, we all 3 have the different 3 United assets.
Yeah.
I am just continuing to pay the piper on picking Cunha over Bumo because every time I watch him, he looks fantastic. Like I think he is the pick of those 3, unless Bruno starts really delivering. Again, I hate DEFCONs. I hate this whole thing of where we have to be like, well, is Bruno delivering more on the defensive side of the field or it's starting to piss me off. But it doesn't seem like he's worth 9 million at the current time. That could change. It's hard to say after a game against City. Cunha might be coming back. I will talk to you guys through what I think on that, I guess. But yeah, I think I almost want to just target Mbomo as a season-long pick. He just looks that good. He's generating great chances. He hasn't actually put a lot of points to it so far, but I think this is kind of what you want to be doing in FPL, is finding a guy who you think is on the cusp of having a haul and then bringing them in. So I like that idea. I don't think the timing is great for their fixtures, but so I touched on Bumo, I guess. But Mac, how are you feeling about Bruno?
I also think that Bumo is the pick, but I don't know. I think that if Bumo scores, he's going to score because he's a good player in a bad system. Like, I think Emran's just proving that his system just isn't working right now.
Yeah.
Right. And his unwillingness to change it is good theoretically because, he's trying to install some like discipline and get back to soccer basics for them, I feel like. But somehow you got to win games in the Premier League. And like, United's like, we're not firing him, but that shit lasts for like a week.
Right.
The second they lose to like a Sunderland or something, he's gone.
Yeah.
And so I think that good players can luck into points in FPL. Like, I think if you have Mbumo, he's an easy hold because he's just going to play. And similarly with Bruno, like, I'll just hold him for the penalties. Like, I have an injured Forest player, an injured Villa player, and Ollie Watkins and Mateta. So I have like bigger holes to address, but I wouldn't necessarily, if you had a perfect team, think you needed him in it. I think that the money is better distributed elsewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Honestly, like, hopefully they just fire their manager sooner and we can get someone a little better in and the asset becomes worth it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. I know that I hear your point on the discipline thing. I think that's absolutely the thinking. But it is just wild to me. Like, you can be a manager at the highest level and just be like, nope, I'm sticking with my system. It's what's worked for me before. Like, you can't adapt. That's the whole thing, dude, isn't it? Like, I don't get it. Imagine like an offensive coordinator just being like, nope, I'm not changing. We're going to keep losing.
No.
Like, that's that you get fired. You easy.
It's like such a dominant idea. Like, we're going to play the way we want. We're just going to play it better than any way you could possibly play us. But that only works if you're like a Manchester City with all of the money in the world.
Right.
And like United have a lot of money, but they have a lot of bad players too. And they bought 3 attackers, and their problem is their defense and their midfield, which is core to their system. And it's like Forest, I think, is a better shot of doing no adaptation because Marinakis will just spend $1 million. Well, that's not even real, like a lot of money anymore. $1 billion. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's ridiculous that these guys can do it and have no adaptation and then just keep getting recycled through Premier League teams, even though it hasn't worked for the last 4 times in a row.
I know. I heard somebody saying like, oh, well, God, who's the Forest coach that just got fired? They're like, yeah, Nuno's going to be at West Ham soon. And I'm like, Ange just goes to Forest, Nuno goes to West Ham. They both go back to Tottenham again. It's like, it's just a stupid cycle. It doesn't make any sense. So all the owners are just being like, I don't know, just plug somebody else in there. Let's see what happens. Anyway,
it's a money laundering scheme.
It absolutely is. All right, which one of you guys wants to take us away first for your Game Week 5 plans?
I'll do it. I think I have the least to present.
All right, let's see it. So we talked you off the wild card.
Yeah, I was never really that serious about it. It was just a reactionary text because I'm so upset at my team right now.
I never get emotional. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, never. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. What can I say? Yeah, I am doing a fucking thing, honestly. Like, I thought about wild carding. I was like, I got to take a hit to get Tielemans out because his value is going to drop, and same with Murillo. And yes, their value has already dropped, but Watkins' value is dropping. Like, who cares? My team sucks right now. The reason, though, mini rant aside, that I'm not actually doing anything is because I just think it's like a low upside week, right? Yeah. I don't think that I need to take a hit when, as we established, there's no real games that we're that excited about, and I think I have enough cover on those games. And like, if Aston Villa decide to luck into points, then it's like, fine, whatever. But I don't think this is the highest upside week. Like, the players that I think are most likely to punish me in my current team are Arsenal and City players, and they're playing each other.
Right.
So, and there's also no like move that I can make that will really positively impact my team with one free transfer. So I'd take a hit and like drop Tielemans. And I was like, okay, if I drop in Tielemans and bring in like in Murillo, I can bring in a better defender. Like, I could double up on the Crystal Palace, or I could go to like
Senesi or something.
Yeah,
or
Senesi.
Like even an Arsenal guy
I was
early.
looking at jumping on Gabriel early. Yeah. But then I'm like, it's not enough money to really significantly move in my midfield. So then I'd have to drop down to like either a Reiners or a Caicedo. And Caicedo popped off, but it's not worth taking a hit over, I don't think.
Yeah. Also
Versus-
with Caicedo, if you get him in, you can't get Palmer if you want him later.
Yeah.
That's the third Chelsea spot.
And then the Chelsea fixtures are kind of going to get worse. I don't think I need to like really buy into their players right now. So next week I'll have 2 free transfers, and then if I want to take a hit, then I can free up some more cash for a bigger move, right? Like if I can drop Watkins and Tielemans and Murillo in the same week, then I can bring in like, who knows? Or I could even just send the wild card if things are looking really bad.
Yeah, I think
But,
that's smart.
I have enough
Chelsea's
players
fixtures
to
are
cover
looking
the league.
nice though.
Yeah, I mean the Chelsea fixtures are decent, I think. Who do they have next? They got Man United, Brighton, Liverpool in the next 3, and then Forest, but that's actually an easier fixture than on paper. Sunderland, Tottenham, Wolves, Burnley. So okay,
it's
I
really
stand corrected.
9. It's really 9 or 8 or 9 where you maybe want to bring them in.
They're even good through like 16 because they only play Arsenal and Liverpool.
But United could be a nice one this week.
Yeah, right. No, sorry,
you've
I'm getting off topic, but that adds to my point that like I just don't think that this is the highest upside week to like take a hit on, right?
Well, along those lines, I plugged in Solio after we had free hit in 4, and I was curious what like a free hit 5 would look like, and this is what it spit out. Granted, it's got its own flaws, but this team. There's no one on this team that scares me, and you guys already have Salah, so you got that. Mack, you have Bruno if he really is going to score 6 points.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, Sharpe and I have Wood. Ayo. Gyökeres is a really interesting one to me. I actually think we should touch on that because I talked him down.
Me off.
No, he's pissed me off too. So I talked him down before free hit 4 of him not being maybe as good of an asset or just like not having the confidence to go with him. And he ends up scoring. Yep. He was in the right spot. I mean, but I almost think that's more a product of him just being the Arsenal number 9 than him playing well. And he's getting tugged at like 65 minutes. He got tugged again in their Champions League game or whatever. So like, can you trust his minutes? He's somebody who I have my eye on for week 7 when we're switching into, Arsenal's great fixtures, but I don't know what to do with him. Like, it doesn't seem like he's really dominant. So I don't know.
I said at the beginning of the season, I said, I think when you guys asked me about Gyökeres, I said, I think he's going to score goals because he's in a good team. Mm-hmm. But I remember last year at this time, I was like flipping out that I didn't have Luis Diaz. And then he ended up being a bum. Not really. He's a great player, but just not like a good fantasy player over the course of the season. And Gyökeres very much could just go off and have an insane season, or he could regress into that. Because I agree, when I watch the Arsenal games, I don't think he's playing spectacularly, which was everyone's fear. He's just getting a lot of service and a lot of good service because he's in a great team, right? Yeah. So if you have him and you can like time his returns, that's fantastic. But it is a little scary to move into him. Now, if you're in a position like me where he's an easy 9 million to 9 million transfer, I might consider that. But I could also try to prioritize Haaland, who's a little more secure in his minutes too.
Yeah. So
I think.
Go ahead, Sharpe. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say on that. I mean, I agree. That's a lot of the reasons why we downplayed him and I didn't want him in the first place as well.
Right.
I think if you're going to go loading up on Arsenal, I'm looking at Calafiori, obviously, Gabriel, obviously, and then after that, like
double defense just makes too much sense. Like it really does with how good they are defensively. Like I had penciled in going, back earlier in the season, going to like Gyökeres and Saka, and then already having Gabriel. But it's like now that we're here, I'm sitting here being like, man, I don't know. It's so hard to pick somebody from that attack. I'd like to have somebody, but maybe I just go template and go with Gyökeres and then get like a second Arsenal defender. I don't know.
Don't feel like he did anything with Saka in there either. Granted, still trying to figure things out early, but when Saka comes back, how is that going to impact him too? And I don't want to be on the losing end of that at 9 million when I could have invested that elsewhere.
Well, the only thing with him though is that in theory he has pens over Saka, so it actually makes me be like, maybe Saka's not a pick anymore. Like it's such a weird. I don't know who I would love to go Eze, but my worry is Saka comes in. You have Madueke who's playing really well. Maybe he moves over to the left or shares minutes with Eze. So you can't really pick either of those guys in theory. The thing that always makes me laugh about Arsenal too is that fucking Trossard or Martinelli is good to just come off the bench and rip a goal all the time. They score so much.
They've been trying to sell them both for like 3 seasons.
And they just continue. So it's like they borderline are FPL assets, but you can't obviously take them. They don't start.
They're frustrating.
It's ridiculous. And this time right now it's Zubamendi. Like who the fuck is going to – it's just like Arsenal's a weird team yes, they score goals, but I think ultimately, like, I wasn't maybe saying it in the right way last week, but that really is where my lack of confidence comes from with Arsenal. They're going to score, but there's no one outside of Saka in the past who's been like, all right, but I know it's going to come from that guy. And maybe that'll be Gyökeres, but if he's not playing all the games and playing all the minutes, then I don't see it.
Arsenal, I think you go in for on the defense just from a consistency standpoint. It's almost the same thing as with Spurs in the sense that, like, who's going to score, where the goal is going to come from.
Right.
The only difference is that Arsenal is a little more potent, so they're probably going to score, but it's still like, who's it going to come from? Sharpe, you mentioned Calafiori, and I was looking into his numbers because I could have done with my one free transfer a Murillo to Calafiori straight this week. And what backed me off of that cliff, aside from the fact that they're playing City this week, is just that he's getting 1 or 2 DEFCONs a game. Like, no joke. Like, no, he's getting a ton of points, but I think he had like 3 points, 2 points, 24 points, 2 points, right? So he's like the top rated defender, but all of that came because he got a couple headers and a clean sheet in one game. And I mean, we say this every season, but I wonder how sustainable it is for Timber and like Calafiori to score all of the Arsenal points. Now, I think if you're picking him as like a second Arsenal defender, that could be good. But I just think that a Gabriel is more of like a season pick, and it just depends on how you want to play him.
Yeah. Again, this is
disagree with what you. Sorry, I don't disagree with you, but it was 13-13-2-5. And if I am getting
was it? Am I switching it with Timber?
Yeah, it's Timber.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I looked at both of them, and they were like, one of them had like 3 DEFCONs a game, and the other had like 2 DEFCONs a game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's sustainable for them to score on set pieces every game. No, it's not a problem to have him because he scores, and that's like great. If defenders score, it's so much upside. But I just don't think he's the one you like need to prioritize for consistent points every week.
No, I think you need to have Gabriel, but I already have him.
But then if you want to double up, then I think you absolutely should get like a Calafiori or a Timber.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is where I am convinced that DEFCONs are ruining the game, because it'd be fun to go with one of those guys. And to your point, Mac, you're not getting those guys for DEFCONs. You're getting them because they are on Arsenal, so they're going to keep a lot of clean sheets, and they might score the odd goal, and that's fun, and that's fun to root for and like watch. But to your point, if they're getting 2 DEFCONs a game, I'm just going to wait till Saliba's back and get him. You know what I mean? Like, because I know he's going to DEFCON. So it's so stupid, but I'm sitting here being like, well, but I'll get the center back that doesn't do anything. Like,
I
love your voices that have come out tonight.
I'm just getting that's my voice for the fucking people who run this game. It's pissing me off.
Oh, that's all right. Time for me to rant. It's my turn. Leave the game alone. It was perfect.
It was fine. The game was fine.
Good. And then they just fucking I actually liked that they added the chips in the first half.
Me too.
But the Assman chip was so stupid last year. It was so convoluted and such a waste of time.
Get rid of DEFCONs. Get rid of the fucking 5 free AFCON transfers. It's all all of it. I'm with
the DEFCONs are just not implemented well, because if the goal is to it doesn't matter if all of the defenders get 2 more points for a clean sheet or not. Like, if you wanted to prioritize letting people play CDMs, then change it. But just adding a 2-point random thing, it's just so stupid.
You already had bonus points that did that achieved that same thing, right? Of if a defender played really well.
Give it a season for the dust to settle, right? They add the Assman chip, they take away the Assman chip, they add in the DEFCONs. It's all right, so DEFCONs are gonna be gone next season. What are we doing here?
Hopefully. I fucking hate them.
I'm tired of them fucking with the game. Just let me play.
The flip side of it is I'm having fun. Yeah, of course. Shut up. Shut up, Vibes FC. No, the flip side of it is, of the whole weekend, the thing I got the most excited for and screamed at my TV about was literally in the last second of the game, Gabriel blocking a shot to get DEFCON. So maybe that's exciting. I don't know, but it's just then I'm sitting there being what the fuck am I doing? I'm yelling at my TV for him to get a block.
It's like a big conspiracy where the Premier League and Fantasy Premier League had a meeting, and they were like, okay, we're adding DEFCONs this year, so you can't score any goals in the first 6. We have to make it a fun metric.
The tinfoil cap, that plunger's turning into a tinfoil cap.
It's cutting off my circulation enough to get the conspiracies rolling.
All right, well, let's get back on topic here. So, Mac, looking at this, you're making it seem like you're probably not going to make any moves this week. I would assume you're going to roll. Is the plan then to make some sort of a move towards Haaland, or are you really considering the wild card in 6?
It's just frustrating. My plans so meticulously thought out just didn't materialize at all. Like I'm supposed to be sitting triumphant. Like this is when Crystal Palace is supposed to be going off. And
Dude,
like,
remember when we were talking about rolling for the first 5 weeks?
Yeah.
What a joke.
I mean, I wanted to. The injuries are tough. The injuries are what like puts me from an okay position to like I kind of need to consider wild card position. The only downside with the wild card is it's like, all right, you wild card for who's scoring, but I just don't have enough confidence in that being the case for the rest of the season because the numbers are, it's just a weird season right now. And
Right.
I just think that at some point people have to start scoring, and
Right.
when people start scoring, the clean sheets go down. And so I'm like, I don't want a wild card onto a 5 on the back and just not be able to get in the goals when they start coming. So I don't really know what the long-term plan is. I'd like to avoid wild carding if possible, but I'm not going to put myself in a position where I'm just chasing all season. Like if I just need to get the wild card out of the way, I still have my bench boost. I still have my free hit. So I've used none of my chips. I'm ranked 6 million right now. I'm not too worried because we're 4 game weeks in. But if I'm at like game week 8 and I'm still 6 million, then I'm like, ah, shit. So biggest holes I see in my team is Mateta. He's just gassed. I mean, they just don't have enough coverage in the Palace thing. I probably don't think Anderson's going to be that good of an asset, although he might get a lot of DEFCONs because I think they're going to rely on him a lot to do some sweeping. It's just that and just midfielders aren't going to keep clean sheets, but that's only 1 point, right? And he might score a lot. So neutral on Anderson. I think Murillo needs to go because clean sheets are off the menu and he's injured. Tielemans and Villa.
How funny that I didn't know which Anderson you were talking about until you said Ange.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And they're both on my team. No,
Yeah.
Anderson from Fulham has been good.
Yeah.
I think the other problem is with the Villa boys is that like, well, Sunderland is probably a good fixture. Burnley have been pretty stout defensively, and
well, it's a mixed bag, right? Because when they played you guys, they let 3 in. Like,
yeah, but we're the mighty Tottenham Hotspurs. That's what they deserve. Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating that like it didn't plan out, but it's okay. We just gotta like wait to pounce. So I just
what's the plan in 6? Are we in 6? Are we free hitting? Are you bringing in Haaland? Like, where are you gearing up for there?
Well, that really just depends on like how this week goes. Like if the Villa boys suddenly turn it on, then all of a sudden a lot of pressure is off my team. If they don't, then I think we're going to look at an exodus in 6 of potentially Tielemans, Murillo, and Watkins, or a wild card, at which point I'll just bring in Haaland and redo the team.
Okay. So you're just taking game week 5, getting more info, and then reassessing, which I think is very fair.
I'm not in a strong enough position to make any moves that are super positively going to impact my team this week. And I just think my team is kind of bad. So like I could, for the 3rd week in a row, could be sitting here with the plunger, but I just don't think that there's enough upside to really like try to go deep and fix it this week.
You clearly have not looked at my team this week because I'll be wearing the hat.
Yeah, but sure. I'm not having any fun this season. They're punishing me personally.
All right, Sharpe, do you want to go?
Yeah, hit me.
Let's see it.
Dude, honestly, I like Mack's team just for matchups this week more than my team because I'm looking at Gabriel there. I feel like I can't play Reindeers at all because I think Arsenal's defense is going to be great.
Damn, I forgot you still have Wan-Bissaka. Brutal.
Dude, all right. So I don't know how much.
Sharpe's trying to pop off. Here we go.
No, he is the one person in my team that has made me the most angry. And it's because game week 1, I was like, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to watch all the games. The second half of that game, they fed Wan-Bissaka up the side, trying to let him cross hand. And I'm like, you know what? This dude's going to be their funnel to the front. It's going to be awesome. He looked athletic as hell. I was pumped. My dumbass should have gotten rid of him in one of the many hits that I've taken. So he's pissed me off, and his drop in value the night before the deadline for game week 3 when I wanted to take him out as soon as it opened for the next game week, and I probably would not have free hit last week, so maybe I guess he saved me. And now I can't get him into any other defender. That has been my biggest issue and my biggest pet peeve because I just want to turn him into another 4.5 over at Palace, or get someone on Tottenham, some other defender that's going to actually contribute and be a useful member of this team versus just a bum that sits there losing value.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could go down to like a Leeds defender, like a 4-0 Leeds defender. They're playing Wolves this week, and I think their fixtures are really good going forward, actually. Yeah, they're 3rd on the fixture ticker for the next 8. Like, they're looking really solid. But I also think there's a very good chance you could sell somebody like Ali next week and have plenty of money to do whatever.
Right. So I guess we can go into kind of where I'm sitting. This week, for the first time, I'm going to let it roll as well. Not only am I not making a transfer, I'm not taking a hit. So
Oh my God.
someone mark that down. That's a first.
You feeling okay?
No, not really. I'm pretty mad about it, honestly. But no, I mean, like, it's a case of like my 3 attackers. I should be so pumped that those are who my 3 attackers are because they're playing Sunderland, Burnley, and João Pedro. Like, João Pedro's great, and United doesn't have a defense. Like, I should be over the moon, except I can't trust 2/3 of them.
I'm in the same boat. I got West Ham, Sunderland, and Man United, and I'm in the dirt.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, obviously, I don't feel good about Ndai this week playing Liverpool. Like, he's going to get scored on, in my opinion, and I don't think he's necessarily going to be the one that returns. I assume we give up a goal. I'm going to be honest. I know we're the highest for those odds on a clean sheet. Everton's the lowest to score, but the way that Everton's been playing, it feels like they're getting one, and we like to give them up. So yeah. I'm still not loving where he's at. I'm not loving Kudos right now. Like, I'm not mad about Brighton. That's going to be a fine. It's going to be a mid fixture. It's whatever. It's okay. Boomo, you guys all patted me on the back for that, so I appreciate that. I'll take that and run with it. But
he doesn't scare me just because of
take it back. Fuck you.
No, he doesn't bother me. He's fine. He's like you guys said. He's holds stagnant. He gets opportunities. He's still on those corners. I think he's just a solid player in a bad defending team, but that doesn't impact him nearly as much as it would a defender. So it is what it is. And really where I want to go, or what I was hoping, is that I would feel more confident in Milinkovic at the back. And obviously against Burnley, I still feel okay about it, but I feel like he's more pressing to get out now, obviously with Ainge there. So where I'm looking right now is Holding this week. This is going to be the squad that I run out there, whether I like it or not. And then I think in game week 6, with 2 free transfers, flipping Salah to Semenyo, most likely, or someone in the mid of that caliber. And then depending on how Watkins or Wood looks this week, flipping one of those to Haaland, because the way the prices are, I believe I can do either of them. And if I got really crazy and wanted to take a hit, then I'm switching Wan-Bissaka out to someone that I have more faith in, or Milinkovic out to someone I have more faith in if I want a higher value guy, since he's the 5.5.
Sorry, did you say you're selling Salah to get Haaland? Say that again.
Yeah. No, my intention would be bringing Salah down, taking either Wood or Watkins up to Haaland, whoever.
Yeah. Okay, now say it one more time.
But slower. And do an accent while you're at it.
All right.
All right, we made Sharpe uncomfortable. That's a successful podcast.
Yeah,
all right. Yeah, I like it. And honestly, like, I think looking at both your guys' teams, seeing Ndai playing Liverpool and Gabriel playing City isn't ideal, but I really think it's not, you're not free hitting every week. Like, you're going to have guys who are going to have bad matchups, and Gabriel, Bumo, like, those are guys who I'd be confident in basically no matter who they're playing. Ndai, sure, but like you said, I if I was a betting man, I would take Everton to score something.
Which sucks because I have Van Dijk, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But hey, I mean, like you said, he defcons, and he just scored a bullet header, so maybe he'll go on a run.
Oh, that'd be sick. Too bad he couldn't. I mean, honestly, if Salah and Van Dijk can have the game they had today on this weekend, that'd be great. I'd be very happy.
Let me ask you, and I'll ask Mack the same, like both of you guys, if Watkins blanks this week, is he gone for both of you?
Yeah, he becomes Haaland for me.
Right.
Yeah, he's definitely gone. I don't know if I actually said this or if I was alluding to it, but Sunderland is, I think, the fixture he's most likely to score, and the Fulham defense is very stout, so that one might actually be challenging. And the Burnley defense has been stout enough, and if he had even an
enough for Villa for sure,
right? And if he had even an ounce of a tooth, it'd be like not a problem, right? Even if they were just like a mid-table team, but they're performing. Well, they're just not performing. They're not doing anything. It's like, what the hell is going on? So,
if he scores a hat trick, would you guys keep him?
Yeah. I mean, I think that the goals are going to come for them, maybe not in as high of a quantity as last week or last year, but I think that the goals are going to start coming at some point. It's just a question of how many times are we going to have to talk about this before they do.
Right.
Like, they can't go the entire season without scoring a goal.
Yeah.
Or they could, but there's no way.
I mean, honestly, if he scores a hat trick, you're telling me that you would keep him over Wood and then, like, future fixtures?
Well, I guess I might be in a little bit better of a position to keep him because I have Haaland already. But like for you, Sharpe, like what would you do? You just go without Haaland in 6?
No,
if you
I
score a hat trick?
No, I still have the money to go from Salah down to Semenyo, and I think Wood up.
Oh, okay.
Haaland.
Okay.
And
It
if you
helps
just
that
get rid of, yeah, and
Haaland's less than Salah. Semenyo started so low, so even though he keeps rising, it's not really a problem.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm about to make you both feel better about your teams because that's the one I'm missing. I'm missing my own. Fucking brutal. Well, I'm just going to share my screen then. We're going to do this different.
And while we take this small time out, please show your eyes to our sponsor in the top corner of our screen. Big shout out to StreamYard for providing us with this beautiful, beautiful system. And
And make sure to like and subscribe.
Yep.
All right. So
hey, much like you didn't do a few times last week.
Thank you. There we go. I hate this shit.
I give you shit, but I appreciate that you take the reins and take control over it. You're doing a great job.
No, it's such a pain in my ass. All right.
Better your ass than mine.
There we go. All right. So this team's fucked. I'll make sure to zoom in for you guys. It is pretty fucked.
Why is it always so small with you?
I don't, a lot of people have been asking me that for a long time.
I just love that your starting lineup just has two guys that are not going to be playing this weekend. So that's beautiful.
Yeah. It's lit. I'm super excited. We're all going to die someday. I hope it's soon. I have let's just try to pluck anything that might be good. We have Richards against West Ham. That could be sick. Maybe he scores a header. I saw he scored yesterday, so that could be fun. Maybe Ange uses Wood like in a great way against Burnley. I did see that he got a rest today, so that actually is pretty exciting about his minutes. I would have thought about selling him. I really would have if he had played.
I think the Ange system is really good for Wood. Wood is a low touch, high efficiency player, and that's how Ange likes his strikers to be. Like Ange just leaves the striker up top. They're supposed to press, and Wood's a little older, but I think that's be fine. And I just think Wood can finish well enough that when he gets service, it might be okay. It's just I think a question of when it's gonna start clicking for them under the Ange system.
Yeah, I hope that's true.
That is what determines if Wood finishes is the service that it gets.
Facts. Watkins against Sunderland could be fun. Could be shit again. Probably going to be shit again. Everything else, dog shit. Just dog shit. So
Pedro Porro's nice.
Pedro Porro could be nice against Brighton, maybe.
Are you really mad about Palmer, though? I mean, we just talked about United's defense sucks.
Well, let's get into that. Palmer played today. He scored. He's playing United. I actually was thinking about captaining him until I saw today that apparently leaving the game, he was grabbing his groin again, and not just for fun. So I think that could be a problem. He's probably not going to play the full 90, so I don't think I can captain him. In which case,
sorry?
Palmer.
Oh, yeah, shoot.
In which case, I probably have to captain Haaland against Arsenal, which doesn't feel great. But it also feels like I was tempted to do that anyway because it just feels like stupid not to. Like I'm like, he's just delivering. Like he's playing Arsenal. He's just delivering. Maybe I just go for it. But
is it crazy to captain Richards?
Ooh. I don't hate that.
It is. I'm not serious. You can't captain a defender.
Dude, I don't know. No, seriously, think about this fucking season, bro. He is borderline guaranteed 8 points.
I have never once in my FPL career captained a defender.
Yeah, because they fucked up the game this year. It's actually an option. Like I agree with you.
That's a fair point.
If we were in the normal game, I'd say that's stupid. But that's honestly not the worst idea I've ever heard. I probably won't do it because I'm with you. I probably couldn't live with myself. But
why is captaining Haaland a better option than Wood?
I just don't believe that they're going to score goals. But I could try it. Like, I mean, I had earmarked for this week to captain Watkins, and Wood probably would have been my vice. But I just don't have any. I don't even know if he's going to play the whole game. He played last week. What did he play? Like 70 minutes? And they tugged
65, I think.
65. Yeah, like not doing that.
I think. Anyway, but okay, you're already so down on this week, which you do make me feel better. I do feel so much better after seeing this. But I will not be wearing a hat that I don't want to wear next week. But I mean, if you're already having this type of week, why try to go for something that feels safe? Why not go for something that would, if happens, dramatically boost your chances this week?
Yeah,
I feel like
that
it's
could
a
be.
high risk, high rewards week for you.
That could be. I just like, I don't know, if he gets pulled at 65 again, then I'm going to feel like an ass, and I'm going to be like, yeah, everything told me not to do that. So, I guess
I would pick Watkins.
really.
Dude, I'm riding so high on the Ollie train this week for literally
What?
4 weeks.
What train, dude? It hasn't
Yeah,
left
what-
the station all season.
Bro, did you
Don't
see
worry,
the
I
game
started
against
it.
Everton?
We're fucking chewing. We're
They
going.
did nothing. No, dude, I'm not
All right.
captaining Ollie. There's
can't
there's
wait.
nothing that can make me captain.
I
Then you
can't
captain
wait.
Ollie. You have him. Captain him.
I have
Do it.
Salah. Chill. Salah's
Yeah.
fine.
If I had Salah, that'd be chill.
I
Anyway,
think
go
the
ahead.
wood shout's still not bad. I mean,
No, yeah.
looking at this, I mean, keep in mind it's Swansea today, but they had 2.8 xG, 55% possession, 17 shots. Like,
It's Ange ball, baby.
it's
Yeah.
Ange ball, man, and Ange ball is about the goals. You just have to score
Yeah.
more than your opponent.
But
Yeah,
with
okay.
that
All right,
backup
I appreciate
striker
that.
putting 2 in, does he take over Wood's spot?
Igor Jesus, yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy. I feel like no, but
They
it's
have a
rotation
third
watch.
guy too that I think he was the one who came in and subbed in for Wood. I can't remember his name, but they have 3 strikers that can rotate in. And the thing I'm worried about, Mac, with regards to what you said about Ange and Wood, is like thinking about Solanke last season with Ange. He came in and he was asked to do more of like the pressing. I don't think Wood is going to be that guy.
That's
But
a fair point.
it's not like Solanke was a delivering asset. So I'm really curious to see how Ange is going to use Wood. It doesn't make sense to me of like where he goes. So then I'm like, there's a good chance that he could just, not become not very favorable in Ange's system.
Yeah, I'm talking myself out of this like as we speak because the goals were super distributed in the Ange system last year. Like there was barely a player in double-digit goals, like 1 or 2 of them, but we scored a lot of goals.
Yeah.
It was just that they would come from everywhere because it's like this constant high attack, high press system. I don't know. I just think that Wood's going to get a couple, but it's a fair point. Also, Ange has played a 2-striker system before, which Nottingham Forest are much more set up to do than Spurs were last year. So I think that's a different, like slightly different circumstances.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I agree that like you don't have a great captain option. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, 100%. I appreciate that because I honestly wasn't even thinking about it. So let's put captaincy on hold for a second. So here's the thing. I same as you guys, I would like to roll this week. For all the points that we already talked about, there are not great options to go to, but it's all kind of contingent on these press conferences, right? If my thought with Cunha is Amorim came out last week and said that Cunha wanted to play last week and he told him no. Well, now you've got Amorim like kind of his back is up against a wall, like borderline coaching for his job. I'm wondering if a player like Cunha comes back and says, hey, I'm back again for another week, and he'll play him. Similarly with Murillo, like Ange said it was just a knock. I don't know if that's true or not, but he might just play. So I have contingency plans, right? If neither of them start, then I'm tempted to. Initially, I was looking at a double move. I was thinking about bringing in like Senesi for Murillo and maybe even taking Cunha down to somebody cheap like Paqueta or even Pino from Crystal Palace to take advantage of that West Ham game. The reason for that is because I'm trying to afford the money to be able to take Wood up to Gyökeres in 7. So anyway, it's getting a little convoluted, but the point is like I'm sitting here trying to plan for 7, not knowing so many things like what you said, Mac, with, okay, I could just want to sell Watkins after this week. If he doesn't return this week, I will be selling him. In which case, boom, there's my Gyökeres money. Don't need to worry about it. I could decide that maybe I want to start targeting Salah soon. Like maybe he starts popping off and I'm like, okay, I need to make plans to bring him in. Like there's too many unknowns. I don't know what Forest is going to look like under Ange. I might as well just like take the week and roll. But I don't know if that's really dumb, right? Because if Cunha and Murillo are both out, then I'm playing Reinders against Arsenal and Esteve against Nottingham Forest. Or I could try Arias against Leeds and he plays who knows how many.
It's not a high upside week, though, regardless. I think like the teams that are the most suited for this still aren't going to get a lot of points, and I could be corrected on that. Like maybe this is the week that the dam breaks and goals are back allowed again.
Dude, low-key, that is going to be what happens because that's just like the season we're living in right now is when people are supposed to score, they don't. And this week, random players are going to pop off.
Fantasy is going to allow goals again.
Yeah. Facts. Anyway, I don't know. The other option is I could just do something simple, like I could go straight Cunha to Semenyo, right, and just rip that Band-Aid off. I'm feeling like a little bit of a masochist with the Semenyo thing, though. Like, I know I probably should just get him, but I need him to hurt me one more time before I decide, like, oh, okay, he's really, like, because I still am just wondering if he's maybe just peaking really early.
He does play Newcastle this week, which is a hard game. So you
Right.
could, there's not a huge rush to get him yet.
Right.
The counterpoint is he's one of the few players who has a goal this season.
Right. And he's consistently returning.
Even if he's peaking early, no one else is peaking.
Yeah. So I'm hopeful that Murillo will play at least majority of the game. Cunha is probably a 50-50 shot, but I'm still like, I think he might play, actually. He probably won't play the whole game, but he might play. In which case I'm fine with that. I'd like to keep him for the next two. He's got Brentford and then Sunderland, I think, or Burnley. And so either way, I'm happy to keep him for that. And that was kind of the plan all along. But I don't know if I'm just being dumb as fuck, because if both of them don't play, I have Reinders and Estev jumping in, and this team looks like absolute dog shit. I know I'm taking an L this week. It's just a question of like how big. And I do have 2 frees, so I could make 2 moves if I really wanted to.
I think let's hope it's banana hat sized.
Yeah, facts.
I mean, I think it makes sense to roll. I like you laid out all the reasons to make sense why it rolls, and you can make big changes in 6 if you feel the need with 3 transfers. Yeah. That's so many to make such a nice change.
And it is nice I don't have to spend any of that on the like Haaland or the Salah to Haaland switch. So I have 3 frees that I can genuinely just play with. The other option I could do this week is bringing somebody like an Arias up or kind of sideways to somebody else. I have 0.3 in the bank, so I could get him to somebody different. He has great fixtures going forward. The problem is Wolves look like shit and he's not nailed. So it's just like I'm probably the last 3 people in the world who still own Arias. But anyway, it's just looking like a shit week. So you boys can enjoy that one going into this week. But yeah, I'm glad to hear you guys say the same, that it looks like a roll.
Because you know what's gonna happen? The dam is gonna break, and it's gonna be fucking Cole Palmer's gonna go in there, then Watkins, then Wood. Which I won't be.
Saka's gonna come back from the dead.
Dude, yeah, Saka comes in and scores. Wouldn't that be electric?
Your team is somehow gonna fuck us over. I feel it in my bones.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
No problem.
Yeah, so okay, I'm glad to hear you guys say, because I was worried I was going to come in here and show you guys and be like, I'm thinking I might actually just roll. Is that crazy? And you guys were going to be like, fuck yeah, take a hit, dude. Get rid of those guys. So yeah, we're in a weird week. Super thrilling, 3 rolls, but I do feel like this is like the planning phase. So Sharpe, I know you said that you're thinking. Let's talk chips really quickly. Sharpe, I know you said you're thinking wild card 12 or 13 ish.
Yeah, I think the wild card could change. Like that's certainly still up in the air. We'll see how games start to pan out. At this point, I want to get Haaland in for 6 for sure. Not as high on Salah for all the reasons we touched on, but Salah is still Salah. So the real thing that might happen is that I take a wild card earlier after game somewhere between 6 and 12. And the reason for that would be to get both Salah and Haaland in there and rock with them and build a team around them. But we'll see how that pans out. But definitely switching to Haaland in 6, and then playing it by ear from there.
Show Mac, you're just riding the vibes, taking one more week of info. I respect it because I thinking about it, there's so many things that need answering going into this week.
There's just not any vibes on this team right now.
I can feel the energy zapped from you. I can feel the disdain you have for your squad.
I love this game, but you just can't get kicked every week and be happy. You know, I need one. Give me one good week, one redemption. You know, last year I was having a shit fantasy year and Spurs did well. And every other year before that, Spurs have been shit and I've been great in fantasy. So if that's the trade-off I need to make, I'll take it.
Well, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, like, you know, all the like pro pundit content creators are shit as well. Like, so it's not everybody's rank is in the mud. It's a question of like how quickly can you adapt once we figure out what the trend is. And I don't think your squad is in as bad of a spot as it.
Yeah, that's the biggest fear. That's why I don't want a wild card early if I can avoid it, because I'd rather not have to burn that asset just because I picked poorly at the beginning, like lost the luck game at the preseason. And I agree. At some point, the tides are going to shift and the meta is going to emerge, and it's just a question of like, are you in a good enough position to do that? So all of the transfers that I've made, I think I feel confident in. I've made 3 transfers so far this season. I was planning to try to hold them all until like this point and not have to wildcard, but we got to do what we got to do. And I brought in LaCroix, Semenyo, and João Pedro. So those feel good. It feels like the team's moving well. Next week I'll have 2 free transfers, and I could do bring in Reiner's Reindeer and Haaland and get rid of the Villa boys if I need to, and have a ton of money sitting around. So we got a lot of options, right?
Yeah.
Like it's an unknown. Conversely, the Villa boys could go. I got to stop giving them a cool band name because they deserve no respect right now. They're not the Villa boys. They're Aston Villa.
Dude, it sounds like they're on Love Island or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It does. I can't give them any hype. They're in the mud.
Can I ask Luke before you go? Can I ask a dumb question? So AFCON is game week 16.
I think that's right. Yeah.
So that's when we should get our 5 free transfers. So you want to go into that week with 0 transfers in the bank because you're going to get 5 for free. So why are we all trying to save our wild card? Like you're essentially auto wild carding in 16.
Yeah, great question. I think it's that you can. Yeah, good question.
It's more of a question of you can dead end your team before that and just only play towards the fixtures until the swing in 13, and then you wild card. And you wild card and 50% of your picks don't work out, and you can change 50% of them a couple weeks later.
2 weeks.
Or you can almost you could save we get them in 16. You could save 2-3 transfers, burn those, and then potentially move up to like 7 players in 2 weeks if your wild card really doesn't work.
Yeah, I guess part of it is like thinking about Salah specifically. There's obviously a lot of people who are going to be going to AFCON. So let's pick like Salah and Semenyo because those are 2 guys who are big and returning. Salah in 13, 14, 15 has West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds, and then 16 goes into Brighton. So you can wildcard, keep him, transfer him out for free. And then Bournemouth have Sunderland, Everton, and Chelsea in those 3. So play, I guess, yeah, the thought process is players like that. I haven't looked past game week 12 really. I knew that the fixture switched in 13 and was thinking, hey, I'm just going to save that wild card. But that's a good point, and honestly something I should think of a little bit more of, like, how are these AFCON transfers going to come in? Yeah,
I think you said it best, Luke. We've now entered the planning phase. So time to start looking a little ahead.
100%. But I do think, like, that aside, I do think saving the wild card is the like smart play, Mac, because it's like one thing to say on paper going into the season that you're going to put your wild card in 13, but there are so many people who are just getting forced into it right now or just aren't having the patience. So actually being able to hold on and wait for the full breadth of knowledge and like understanding is so huge. And it's so funny. Again, it's been 4 weeks, but it feels like so much longer. Like going into the season, I was like, 6 weeks minimum is what you need to kind of get an idea of what's happening. And here we are at 4 and I'm being like, well, this guy's shit. This guy's good. Like, yeah, we still just got to wait.
Yeah. The sample size gets 1 game bigger every week. Obviously that's a profound statement, but
no one's scored either. So I think it's even more so like,
that's the thing is just, I just fundamentally don't believe that in the English Premier League, people are just not going to score all season. Goals can be down. That can be a trend. Clean sheets can be up. But at some point, a team will be good because someone has to win the Premier League despite every team's best efforts this season.
Dude, I might have to quit if they don't score more goals. I've had enough.
So, like, at some point it's going to switch, and you just need to be primed for that switch. The problem is we have no idea when it's going to go. So I'm just trying to, like, be conservative, make smart transfers. Like I said, I brought in LaCroix, Semenyo, and João Pedro. Yeah. And those seem like solid season picks for now. And I'm just not going to be reactionary because that's what I did last week. And so that's why I talked myself off the wildcard ledge this week. Like, it's just we don't know enough. There's no value in wildcarding this early.
Talking reactionary, I did think about, because he's playing Man United, I did think about Ollie to João Pedro this week. I really sat and thought about that one for a minute.
I mean, I don't think that's reactionary. If they haven't scored a goal or put up an XG, it's like, are we idiots for having him still?
I thought about the same thing with Chris Wood. I think both of those guys I'm looking at and being like, I don't know, they could do absolutely nothing this week. And João Pedro against Man United, I'm like, shit, he's gonna haul. But he also played big minutes in Champions League this week. He came back. Apparently, he said to Maresca before last game that he didn't want to play, and Maresca said too bad. So I don't know if this is like maybe this is the time where they would rest him somewhat.
Did he get called up to the national team?
Yes, he played.
It's always
2 games.
most brutal for the South American players because they have to travel like.
Well, and he specifically played in Bolivia, which is apparently like the hardest field to play on because it's like 3 miles up or some shit.
Yeah, it's always really tricky with the South American players coming back from an international break because it's a really physical league. They are very passionate about playing for their country, and so they do it. And like I cannot tell you how many international breaks were first international break specifically where a Tottenham player gets injured. And I'm like, well, the season's just fucked. Thanks. Like this is fantastic. So he could be rested for sure, but I think bringing him in isn't really a problem because he's still got decent fixtures, right? So you miss this week, whatever, right?
Yeah,
He's 23. He's young.
Yeah,
Let the boy
this is
play. Let him run. He's fine.
so was Cole Palmer, and then he decided to get injured in warmups. So I don't know.
I mean, I was pretty. Palmer's had bad vibes. Have you seen his haircut? Dude's got bad vibes.
Dude, he does have a shit
It's
haircut.
terrible, man. What is up with that? Like,
I showed him to my girlfriend once and was like, "Look at this guy." She was like, "Ah!"
like this is the guy that millions of men and women idolize around the world.
Yeah,
That guy.
so tough.
So sad.
All right, we've officially reached the point of not talking about FPL. So yeah,
Wait,
let's close out.
Did we get your future plans? I know we touched on ours and then I derailed us, but
Yeah, no, I mean, I've already used most of my chips. I've used my bench boost and my free hits. So it really is like, yeah, I guess along those lines, I'm rolling this week. The plan in 7 is to bring in Arsenal assets. I'm still trying to figure out which ones those are. And so like along the lines of trying to get more information, I also need to figure out, am I getting in Gyökeres? Am I getting in Saliba? Like I thought about with Murillo, I could get Saliba in this week. And I really did think about that, but obviously he's not going to play. We talked about the Calafiore Timber thing. I could bring in one of those guys, but not only do I worry about what Max said, but also rotation with those dudes. And I'm taking out a player who's playing Burnley and in theory could play. So I should probably just keep him. Like, it's just such a weird week. Like, it's such a weird week. But
I've never felt so sorry. I totally interrupted. I've never felt so much less confident in my fantasy players playing promoted teams in my life.
Yeah.
I have so many matchups against Burnley and Sunderland, and I'm like,
and West Ham
quaking in my boots.
Man. Can you imagine? Like, I mean, Mateta is probably the one that I would pick to have a haul this week.
Oh, he's dogged, dude. He's so tired. He's had to play every game. They're like contemplating subbing in their like 4 million striker because that kid's like so young.
That could be. I just am imagining like his tall ass getting a header against West Ham. They can't do anything against set pieces and stuff. So
I just think he needs a break, and I just don't think he'll get it all season. Like, how could they? They're gonna have to buy half the available players in January.
Yeah. Dude, I think it's wild that we went this entire time without me getting to talk about how Wirtz was subbed off today. I can't believe we made it that far. He's not in Luke's team. That was the
wait, but no, he wasn't subbed off. Gakpo was subbed off, and Wirtz moved out to the left.
Let me check that.
Which is why, yeah, that is accurate. Which is why I'd be worried if I owned any Liverpool assets outside of Salah.
Wirtz and Gakpo were both subbed off.
Yeah, he was subbed
at 58, Wirtz at 78.
Yeah, he was subbed off for our 18-year-old. Bite me. I knew what I was talking about.
No, there you go. But like Gakpo was subbed off earlier and Wirtz moved to the left. Like point being, they can do that, right?
Yeah, but in Slot's press conference, he talked about Ekitike and Isak specifically not playing on the left side, so maybe Wirtz goes out there.
Did he play? Did Isak play?
Yeah,
he started. He got subbed out at the 56th, I think.
I didn't have a chance to watch any of the games today. But
during work, that sucks.
Yeah,
we should just move, guys. Do you want to move to the UK? Just get some better game times.
I'll put my vote in for Ireland personally. Yeah, but
down. All right. I think that wraps us up. We're all rolling. That's the vibe. We're gonna just ride with these shit teams and see what happens. Hopefully somebody decides they want to win a game and wants to score a goal. That'd be sick.
Hey, Liverpool's 4-0, so there's a lot of talk about no one wanting to win the Prem. There's one team that you need to keep up with.
Dude, Liverpool look like shit. They've gotten so lucky. You know this.
Isn't it luck if it's that consistent?
It's only been 4 weeks.
Look at last year. We did the same stupid shit last year in the last 5 minutes of games.
Yeah.
No, this is the Arne Slot proving year because last year he was
inherited a beautiful team.
handed the Infinity Gauntlet with all the stones, and now this is the year we see if he's a fraud or not, which I don't think he is. But
Well, I think he made the team better. I think the team only got better from last year with all of the transfers.
it was pretty easy to add the finishing touch on a polished diamond.
Yeah, it was.
The team only got better. They haven't done. I just can't get over this. Are you watching the game? I think that's the difference. I'm agonizing through these shitty ass games that I'm watching of Liverpool right now. So you clearly must not be, because you're sitting here being like, "Oh, we're doing so great." No, you're not. You look like
I'm watching every game. We don't look like shit.
I watched last week. They didn't do a single fucking thing. They did nothing.
Oh, yeah, I didn't. I tried to watch last week, except we may have drank a little too much the night before and simply couldn't keep our eyes open at 8 a.m. So
yeah, that's understandable. All right. Well, this has been the Three Wings podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like to hear rambling nonsense like this. We keep it high and tight. Catch you guys next time.
peace.
See ya.